Search engine optimization. In this video, we'll show you how to perform on-page and on-site search engine optimization. Now, you have your keyword list and you want to start optimizing your site for those keywords. So, as I previously mentioned, there are two steps. There's the on-site or on-page optimization and the off-site optimization, which basically means getting links in. So first of all, let's focus on on-site optimization. If you have web pages on your site, first, let's go for a more niche term. Let's say used Nike golf club. How about that? If you already have a page on your website selling used Nike golf clubs or used golf clubs, then it naturally leads itself to being optimized for this search term if you want to get traffic for this search term. So you'd only need to make changes to an existing page. Whereas if you didn't have a page for this term and you wanted to get traffic for this term, then you can add a new page. If it's an e-commerce site, if you have an online catalog and you're selling golf products, let's say, then you can just add more catalog pages for those products and optimize those. Or if you're working on a content site that just has useful information, and maybe you make money through advertising, then you can add content related to this search term to get traffic for this term. So essentially, if you don't have pages for which the term for which you want to get traffic is a natural fit, then just add more pages. They can be articles, or as mentioned, they can be product pages, whatever's relevant. And also, as in the example I mentioned previously, you can get traffic to useful articles and then link them from the articles to your catalog pages, of course. You don't necessarily have to get traffic that comes to you just to buy something. You can get traffic that's just looking for information. Obviously, you don't want people who are never interested in buying, but something that's very popular online is review sites, because people want to make educated buying decisions, particularly when it isn't a particularly cheap product. So if you can offer objective or very useful advice to help a potential shopper make his or her purchase, then that can be a great page for your site. You can educate them, you can get traffic to those pages, and you can educate the visitor about what to look for, what's good, what isn't so good, let's say in the golf equipment market. And if you become a trusted advisor, and that's one good thing about review sites, in theory you get lots of objective opinions. So if your site can become a trusted advisor to the visitor, then it's more likely that they'll trust your opinion and potentially buy from you. Really, I haven't explicitly detailed this yet, but the theory is, it's a quite simple theory, but the more pages on your website, the more traffic you'll get through the search engines, because the more pages you have, the more keywords you're covering, and therefore you'll get more traffic from lots of different keywords and keyword phrases. The term that's often used is the long tail. It's one of these internet-specific terms that means all the really niche terms that don't get a lot of traffic, but that people are still looking for. For example, you could say that Amazon.com really benefits from the long tail because it has such a huge catalog that almost any obscure product that you could want, you can find on Amazon. So they get a huge amount of business from the really niche products, whereas if they were just a general site, they would miss out on all that traffic and all those customers. So perhaps, especially at the start, as I've touched on already, maybe focus on the long tail, the niche terms that aren't so competitive. But if you get enough of them, you have a good business. Okay, on-page optimization. Now, I should let you know that this video is a crash course to get you started immediately. I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail or into the nitty-gritty at this stage. I'm not going to ask you to sit through 2 hours of videos before you can even do something useful. Just watch this video, do a tiny bit of research yourself, and you can get started optimizing your pages. So I'm going to assume that you have your keyword list, and what you can do, a nice little trick, if you search for a keyword you're interested in, take a look at a site. but look at it as a cached site. So click on the cached link here. Let me open it in a new tab. Okay, it opens a new page, but it opens it from Google's cache, which means that Google stored a previous version of the page in its database, and that's what you're seeing. And the benefit of doing it this way is that it highlights the search terms as they appear throughout the page. So it's a quick and easy way to see how often they're using the terms on the page. And in this case, they're using them a lot. And as I previously mentioned, you want to avoid keyword stuffing, because that could lead to trouble with Google, which could lead to getting your site banned from the search engines, which is obviously something you don't want. So looking at a site this way can give you some clues about where you can put your keywords and how often you can use them. But as a rough rule, put your keywords in the title, either all together or as a part of a bigger phrase. You may wish to put them all together if you're optimizing for that phrase, but then there's no harm in adding further text as well. For example, in this page, used Nike Golf Club, you could have used Nike Golf Club info and prices here as a very quick example. So it may be a good idea to keep all the words together in the title here. You don't have to, but it is a suggestion. And pay attention to your competition to see what they're doing, and then you can have further text as well. I can't give you a crash course in HTML in this video, but if you view source and you search for the terms, you can also see there exactly where in the document the phrase has been used. But important places are definitely the title, and mention them in the body of your document. Not excessively, but enough. Maybe a minimum of 2 or 3 times perhaps, or even more, but do be careful. And it's suggested that you do it in the header, and also in any subheadings if relevant, but again, don't overdo it. It's useful using these keywords in links within this page pointing to your own site. So here, you see, all these links within the site have keywords in them. So use keywords linking back to this site. Use keywords you want the page to be found in when linking to this page on your site, but again, don't overdo it, and maybe mix it up a bit. But I do suggest that. And you can do this on many other sites in your market to get an idea of how they use keywords on the page. And what you can also do is examine what is known as keyword density. If you just go to Google and search for keyword density, there are a whole bunch of free tools, and using these tools, it analyzes pages for you and lets you know the page breakdown of keywords so you can examine exactly how many times certain keywords are used. You may find such tools useful as well.